What's going on, LinkedIn and everywhere else? We're on YouTube, Twitter. So it's episode 45, and we go talk about what is love, but from a male perspective, because from the dudes, we don't get much love when it comes to February. I don't know if you ladies agree, but
Who are you asking? There are no ladies here now.
there's some ladies on the live show right now. So
there's gonna be some in the chat.
We got DJ here. Sure. We got Julie. We got Kelsey. So wanted to say hi to you ladies. So but you guys ladies get to learn a little bit, about what us males care about when it comes to the word love, right? Let's talk a little about that tonight. Why don't our guests introduce themselves? We got some love experts here tonight, right? We got Mr. Tornado, the Love Tornado. So why don't you introduce yourself and why the Love Tornado?
Well, you know what? I've always been, let me introduce myself properly, guys. My name is Gabriel Leal. I am the host of the Made from Scratch broadcast, which is actually going live after Kevin tonight. So if you want to tune in, just a quick plug. But, this has been, for me, such a wonderful topic to touch on. I love the topic of love. I've always been a big proponent, and I'm a self-admitted helpless romantic, right? So I love the concept of love in just every area in general. So
you sound like one.
Exactly right. I do.
You sound like one. Yeah.
It's okay. Look. Hey, Aldrich, look me in the eyes. Look me in the eyes. Right. That's the whole thing about it, right? That's the whole art of seduction right there. That is love. Looking somebody in the eyes and going, you know what? I could just stare into their eyes for hours, right? Deep, looking into the window of their soul, So yes, I am a big proponent of love, and that is why I am the Love Tornado. I want to bring love in all capacity to just about everybody who comes into my path, just like a tornado. So there you go, guys. That's my foray into talking about love. We'll get a little bit deeper because we do like to go deep sometimes. I don't know about you gentlemen, but I do. I really love to go deep. So let me know what you guys think about that.
All right.
What should I think about that when you say go deep? Like, what should I be thinking about? If you want to clarify before we move on.
You should be scared, very scared.
Well,
you're freaking me out. Oh my gosh, I'm tearing. But okay.
Don't tear up. Don't tear up. We'll get to that part of the show where we'll make you tear up, Aldrich. We'll go. We're gonna touch on all those pain points, right?
I think we're already there, Gabe. We're already there.
I think we're there.
I'm gonna blend in with my background soon.
Yes, I know, right? Before you know it, you guys are gonna be punch drunk love before we get done with this show. So we're going to work on that today. We're going to get you guys down into the heart of what it actually means to be open and taking in the essence of real love.
Wow.
Yeah.
You got to beat that, Nick. You got to beat
All right, Nick.
Well, I'm obviously not the Love Tornado. We're going to start there.
Did you just say Jello or hello? Did you just say Jello, or did I hear wrongly?
Yeah, I'm not Jello too, either. But so I'm Nick Lozano. I'm a live streamer here on LinkedIn and on Twitch, podcaster. I've been on Kevin's live stream before, early on last year, right? That was probably seems like forever ago. And I know Gabe pretty well. We hang out quite a bit in our community Discord. I'm a fan of love as well too. I've been married for my wife's watching. I think it's 6 years. So, just correct me if I'm wrong.
Pull the note card if you got all the notes written down on there so you don't forget. 6 years. Positive.
Yeah. So and I'm happy to be here with you, gentlemen, this evening, and what fun and interesting conversation we're going to have tonight.
Oh yeah, we're going to have lots of fun, guys.
So is everyone or all of us here married?
I am.
think I am.
You think you are? Eldrick's wife's not watching.
See, there's my wife. 6 years. Yep, I'm right. Okay.
It's complicated.
Wow, this is gonna be fun. I think Nick, I think you and I both have our wives on this. So, yep. So they better be taking notes. You know.
Well, the interesting thing is, you doing a woman's perspective?
Yep, that's next week, so they get their turn.
Oh,
yep.
Nice. Oh, yeah, they'll get their turn.
Yep. So, hey, Jacqueline, wanted to say hi. Thanks for hopping on. So let's start with what is love? The word love to you, right? In general, and this doesn't have to be romantic. What is love? Period.
Aldrich should go first. I mean, he just he's just ready to just jump out.
Well, I mean, love has different levels, though, right? Love has many different levels, right? When you talk about the area of love, right? So you can have a love as a parent for a child, right?
Yep.
Unconditional love that you have for there. You have, of course, might have love for friends. You can have love for humanity. There's many levels of love and how you can really connect with the topic of love. That's why it's such a broad topic, but it's also, for me, one of the fun things to talk about, because at some point we've all experienced it, right? We've all actually been in, quote, the act of being in love with somebody. And it's usually one of the fonder memories that we keep in our mind when we fall in love with somebody. We remember all these things. Things become more present when we're in that state of mind. We're actually living in a part of our conscious where we see everything more clearly, right? So most of the time we operate on our subconscious level, right? We just cruise control sometimes. But when you're in love, right, it brings everything to the forefront, right? You could have a real shitty job, and then someday you meet somebody. You could be a fucking fry cook at In-N-Out, right? And then, one day you meet the right person. All of a sudden, that job is not a hassle anymore because you're not even thinking about it. You're like, my mind is elsewhere, So frying fries at that point is like, this is the funnest thing in the world.
Especially if she's the cashier at where you're frying fries, right? Then it's like, dude, give me all the shifts.
Right? But you find the workaround, though. That's what I'm talking about. You find the ways, right? That's the thing that you go, man, it really opens your eyes to a different perspective altogether. So, there's a gentleman named Bruce Lipton he's written a lot of books, and that's one of the things he talks about when people believe that that being in love is changes the whole perspective of everything. That's where you can kind of create, where he comes up with the concept of talking about heaven on earth, right? We are just a vessel that we carry, but when we experience something like love, it takes us into that space where we actually can see what it is to feel, what it is to be emotional, what it is to be really open with somebody, right? You connect, and you're actually putting yourself out there where most people would have been guarded. Some people get guarded and whatever, but when they fall in love, all those barriers, all those walls come crashing down very quickly. I mean, love can change somebody from being an evil person. They can change them from being an alcoholic. Love has done so many powerful things. This is why I love the whole topic of what we're talking about, because it's one of those things that again, it can change the way that you perceive life and how you go out and operate as an individual, right? And it works both ways. Just saying, it does work both ways, right? So being out of love and those things that hurt and everything that comes along, they're both very important, right? Yes, it is. It's difficult sometimes to find the right person, but you know what? Sometimes you don't. That's the thing, right? People continue to look and simply look, and then all of a sudden, boom! It shows up on your doorstep. You don't even look for it. It just happens, right? And when it does, it's a wonderful thing.
And I think we find love at the least expected moments, and that's when we actually find true love, right? Is when we're actually not looking. And I think oftentimes when we're trying too hard and we're actually searching, and the world has this way of playing tricks on you, right? And when you try too hard, you just don't find love, right? It's the facade of love, but it might not be love, right? So, that's good. What are your thoughts, Nick Eldrick?
Do you want me to go first, Aldrich? Or you
Go
just,
ahead.
No, Aldrich looks like
Okay.
he's foaming
Go
at the
ahead,
mouth,
go
like he wants to go, man. He's like ready to jump in here. He looks excited.
I mean, like, just give a reply as if your wife isn't listening, Nick.
Yeah, I think, Gabe touched on a lot of important points there. And in my opinion, Gabe is like one of the best with emotional intelligence, just in general, of a human that I know. And just hearing his description of love for other individuals is so right on point. And, the thing I see love is it's compassion or affection for another individual too, right? Mm-hmm. We talk about it from a spouse or a partner perspective, but then there's also love for a sibling, for a parent, for a child. So it takes multiple forms, right? It's more than just talking about your spouse or your partner or significant other. I have love and compassion for other individuals who aren't even family members, who I would do anything for. There's, the brotherly love that Gabe and I have together just because we've done so much stuff together. I would help him with anything that he needs. So I think it's important that when we talk about it as a perspective too, there's also those other forms of love, and it's not necessarily just a romantic love.
Yes.
That's really good.
100%. I love that.
That's good.
That means so much. So, Aldrich, man, I've been salivating. I've been waiting. To hear.
I'm waiting too.
You talk about.
There's a reason why we call him the tornado, Aldrich.
I mean, man, I just see this look on his face, like he's been contemplating these thoughts, right? And it's almost like Confucius when he has a thought process and he wants to put it out there into the world. So I am ready to hear your response, Aldrich.
I will skip all the different genres of love kind of thing.
Okay.
The both of you has genres. Done it. I do have one thought that keeps going around my head since we started live streaming, and it's a true story. It happened to my friend. We were at a coffee place, and we were having a conversation, and then one lady walked in. My friend told me one thing. He said, "I felt like I know her forever." So he can't take his eyes off her. I felt like I know her forever. I think she's the one. So he went to her, he went to the counter, paid for the drink, and sat with her for the entire hour, ignoring me, of course, as if I'm not there. And they left. And the next thing I know, I think it was 4 months later, they registered. So I was like, wow. And that happened, I think 12 years ago. 12 years ago. They had the strongest marriage I've ever seen. Strongest. Way stronger than those who dated for 10 years and got married and then divorced, or way stronger than those who dated since high school, uni, separated, got back together, married someone else, divorced, come back together, So I'm fascinated by that. And if that is really something that captures my attention, I do think that's really love. Like wow, one look, that's her. It's like, I know it, it's her. And it really crosses any boundaries, barriers, lines, and whatsoever. Because how the hell are you going to explain that? Like, you would just walk to a coffee shop and say, wow, Jennifer, that's her. It's going to be her. That's going to be my wife for the next 40 years. I'm like, nope, that doesn't happen on a day-to-day. It happens, but not on a day-to-day. No amount of books, no amount of thinking, no amount of affinity or whatever you call, right? So I'm fascinated by that. And it feels so. like even I think Gabriel was talking about a workplace kind of example. You know it, right? When people accidentally touch you, some you feel disgusted, very few you feel like you got electrocuted. Can you explain that? I mean, like there's static energy, but leave that aside. But can you explain that kind of like the bolt of excitement? Oh my gosh, it's actually coming from you. So those are the more exciting things that I think about the love piece. Not so much about the brotherly love and I love my neighbor's kids or
Yeah.
or
No,
whatever. Yeah,
no, but that's
what I think
good
about
though. That's good. I like that. And again, I like the approach. Right. That is one thing. Like I say, whenever we're talking to the subject here tonight, right? Because like you guys have both mentioned, right? You kind of mentioned different examples about it, and the whole thing about falling in love and being in love with somebody, it can be one of those things. Again, it's a double-edged sword, and here's what I mean by that. You can actually feel an affinity for somebody. You can actually get really deep feelings for somebody, right, and form a really good bond, and somebody might not have the same feelings for you, right? And that's one of the things about love. Again, that's why I said it can be so overpowering, and so much so that somebody, again, you can have feelings for an individual. You can say, you know what, man, this person is the one for me, right? If they don't feel the same energy, the same spark, right, it's just not going to happen. It just wasn't meant to be. You hear the whole story sometimes of people, right place, right time, or right person, wrong time. I don't believe in the wrong person, right. I mean, the right time, wrong person, right. Whatever it is. Excuse me. Vice versa. Let's go back. So it's right time, wrong person.
Yeah.
I'm confusing myself again. Talking about time, space, time continuum here. Okay.
We get where you're going. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but you get where I'm going, right?
Yeah.
Where people have said that, I met the right person at the wrong time. No, I think when you're meant to meet the right person, it doesn't matter what the time frame is, and it doesn't matter the situation. When it overtakes you, and that's the thing, the energy that you feel between two individuals, there is no wrong time. That is when it's meant to be. When you meet somebody, right, and you feel a connection with somebody, and you say, well, gosh, if I wasn't in this relationship, the whole thing about it is, wait a minute. If you're already questioning that, why are you in the relationship in the first place, right? If you've met this person and they spark something for you, they're already making you question something, right? So at that point, you look at it and go, wow, I've never thought of that. Because when you're sure and you're confident about being in love with somebody, those questions don't even come to the surface, right? It's just dealing with the whole thing of going through it. And yes, sometimes love can be a fickle thing, and it can, being with somebody for 40 or 50 years. Yeah, there's going to be parts where there might be struggles, but here's the whole thing: you still carry that love for each other. It just kind of like anything else; it grows and develops a little bit differently over time, but you still have it.
Because when we're talking about romantic love, I think it's important to understand that too, is sacrificial, right? Mm-hmm. And it's beyond feelings. I think, so I've been married 11 years. So it's one of those things like after, 10, and you have pop couple kids out, things kind of change. And all
I like how you put that.
Yeah.
Pop them out.
Everything
like
changes, right? The dynamic changes. You add a business in here, and then a couple ventures, and things start looking different, right? You aren't as young as you used to be. You aren't in shape like you used to be. From a guy's perspective. Now I got my little belly going on. Oh, yeah, that dad bod. That's what it's all about. But that is the reality, right? So when you truly love someone, it goes beyond that.
Yeah.
And I think the world sometimes paints this false picture when you watch these movies and these different things, and that isn't technically true love, right? True love is really like, there's that kindness aspect, there's that respect aspect, there's that sacrificial aspect, the understanding, the communication, and everything that we've talked about, right? And now let's take it a bit further, right? It's the same with friendships and even business relationships, right? Are you truly a loving person, right? A lot of people go, oh, if you're loving, you don't go stab someone in the back,
No.
And a lot of times, there's a lot of that too, right? So how do we really define love? So let's take it a little step further, right? What about backstabbing? The world we live in, right? A lot of people are advocates of, oh, let's love, Black Lives Matters, healing, let's love the world. And then it's like, okay, the words are easy to say, but where's that fine line? Like, our behavior isn't reflecting that, right? So, yeah.
That's the whole thing about it, right? You got to make sure when you're talking about especially what you were talking about, right? You want to make sure that like your actions align a lot with your values, right? With your intentions, with the things that you're essentially talking about. And it's one thing. It's one thing to say something, and then to go do something else, right? That's for me. That's where I find issue with certain people who, again, and everybody's allowed to have their own thoughts and opinions. But again, like I say, that is where people will also form their opinions of you based on the things that you're doing and the actions that you're outputting into the world. So if you're saying these things, right, and then you're not actually following up, or you're, a good friend of mine told me this, right? I love this, what she had told me. She's like, I've gotten into the practice of making promises to myself, right? And she says, and the reason that I do is because I have to hold myself so I don't break my promises, because then if I break my promises to myself, then I easily can do that to other people, right? And then what does that say about me, my character, my my how people will perceive me, right? And not that you should take that in, but again, hold those values that you have, right? Form it and let that be what kind of guides you into going out in the world, and especially what we're talking about, where even when you might not believe in an action, or you might not believe in a purpose, or you might not believe like in Black Lives Matters, right? If somebody doesn't believe that, doesn't mean that you just have to be the counterculture of it. You can still express. You don't even have to say love. But you can express understanding and empathy for what somebody might go through, right? And that's just, to me, that's another form of love. It's just being able to express that understanding and empathy for somebody else's situation or whatever it is going on, man. So that's, for me, I what you guys have been talking about, it so resonates with everything, how I operate as a person and how I've kind of set myself out there and in sharing what my message is, and how I really love to have people, who come in my life to know that this is not just a perception of me, but this is my reality. This is how I operate, right? So I love that you guys are actually getting this from another perspective. And just one more thing, ladies, if you're with your man, we do like to be romanced. We do like you ladies to show us a little bit of love, right? And it could be anything, form of a hug, nice kiss, whatever it is. We enjoy those things just as much as you do. So yeah, when you want the whole sweeping romance thing, that is a two-way street. I would enjoy that as well. Bedroom action as well. Hey, I don't have to always initiate. You go at it one day, just grab the stick and let's go, baby. That's kind of for me what I love. Again, it's truth though. This is for me, it's truth, right? It's not just a one-sided thing of a male female or male male. Love goes beyond those barriers as well. But that's the whole thing about it, right? I love just to feel to be wanted, right? To have that affection. So there you go. How's that, guys? I love that part.
No, and that's so good, Gabriel, because it's so true, right? It goes both ways, and even words of encouragement, right? I think a lot of times ladies just expect, oh, we're guys, we're tough, and everything's always good, a lot of times, right? And we get depressed, we have anxiety, we get stress, very stressed, especially sometimes when you're trying to put food on the table. There's a lot of stress, but sometimes when we come home, it's nice to have that, hey, where it's like, you want to listen to me? It goes both ways. And I think sometimes the world, we watch these movies and it shows definitely more the romantic male is the one that's listening to the female and, giving the words of encouragement, hugging her, and that's romance, right? We're the knight in shining armor, but at the same time, we could be Shrek. Just struggling, and I love that movie because it really showcases love, right? So yeah. While we're going into this, let's do something a little fun. Let's talk about what is your ideal date, guys.
Oh,
Wow.
that's a good one.
Let's go.
So we're gonna go ideal date, no pandemic, right? Like because
No pandemic.
like,
Yep.
yeah, because that'd make it a bit different. So I think for me, it'd be a date out with my wife without the kiddo. Going to a nice restaurant, sitting down, having a few beverages, talking with each other, connecting like on a human level, and just spending the evening together. I don't need anything fancy. I just enjoy spending time with my wife, whether that's at home or a restaurant. And when you have kids, it gets a bit more difficult to have that time and connection together. For anyone who does have kids, some of the priorities shift in it, and some of that focus that would go between each other winds up going to your children. So for me, it's just, any time alone that I could get would be a big win in an ideal date.
Right.
Ooh, that's good.
Right. And you got to remember, right? You're adults. You still have to carry that relationship on beyond just having kids, right? That's pretty vital. And like for me, I'm like Nick. I'm very simplistic. I could have a picnic basket, go out to an empty field, just sit out there and look up at the clouds, and that would be perfect as long as I'm spending it with the right person, right? As long as I'm in that person's presence, that I'm in that individual's essence, we're there together, and that's all that matters. Everything else that's going on in the world, there could be a nuclear holocaust going on. I wouldn't care at that point. I'm entrenched in what is really right there in front of me, and to me, that is the perfect idea of having a great date with somebody. It doesn't have to be date night. It don't have to be night, day. I mean, and I get it though, but I love the fact that Nick, you talk about that, right? You're still wanting to go out and have a date with your partner. You still find that fun, and you still find that exciting, right? Because of what could happen later on, guys. I mean, that's the whole thing about it, right? You still want to have physical intimacy at some point. I mean, that's just the primalistic urges inside of us as males, right? As man, I want to ravage this individual. I want to have a really deep experience, quote unquote, with this person, and enjoy it, right? That's the whole thing about it is crossing that whole barrier of wanting to be with somebody is not only understanding the emotional, the physical, and the spiritual. All of that stuff goes into play, man. So for me, if I get all those things in one sitting, I'm a happy guy. I'm a very happy guy at that point. I've had that's a great date.
What about you, Eldrick?
I will say something that might be a little surprising. I think that an ideal date for me is where I get to share that moment of comfortable silence. Like comfortable silence. I want her to be around me, but there's no need for any pressure. She doesn't have to say anything. I love that. Even if we are just out there after work, let's say at 7 p.m., I would have had about 13 to 14 hours of work in me already. So just having dinner, knowing that she's good, knowing that she probably has a tough day, knowing that we care for each other without asking the obvious questions, I think that's brilliant. There's a lot that is going around without us saying anything. I love that. I have I do have friends that I can share a comfortable silence with as well. I mean, go dash friends. Go dash friends. But in a world where I'm 38 this year, I met a raft of people, different peoples as well. But I can count with 5 fingers how many of those I can do that with, and it's very much desired. I love being around them. Like, we can be real friends. We don't have to say anything. And I think that kind of an ideal date, whether it's a date with your friends, your girl dash friend, or your girlfriend, or your wife, it's brilliant. Think about it. It's brilliant. As opposed to, how's your day? What happened to your asshole boss? What's your project? You rushed it last night. How are you? Are you tired? Should I rush you home? I mean, like, those are nice, but it's not that comfortable, I think. But when you can really get comfortable and not say anything, it's brilliant. My opinion, ideal date. Very rare.
That's good. Yeah, so it sounds like we all have a lot in common, right? I think it comes down to us males kind of enjoy quality time, because I'm a quality time guy, and very simplistic. Like today, I went and actually we went and grabbed Starbucks and just took a walk on the trail without the kids. Honestly, for a quick 16-minute walk, before I went back to work, and it's just quality time. And I think sometimes it's simplistic. It's just being able to be with each other, and be able to kind of just be alone, block the world away. And I enjoy what Eldrick said too. And sometimes there's beauty in silence. I work so much. I'm always on Zoom calls, especially nowadays during the pandemic. And sometimes I just don't feel like talking to anyone in the world. I just want to be alone, and it's just quiet, And, sometimes my wife and I were just both silent, doing our own thing, listening to music, but we're within each other's presence, but not necessarily talking to each other. And there is comfort in that too. And I want to go to Teresa's question. So if a woman isn't a cuddler, does a male get discouraged?
Depending on what you mean by discouraged.
Well, I think yes.
Well, I don't know if we can answer for a whole segment of people, but I can answer for myself. So if I'm going to answer for myself, I would say no. Like, it wouldn't bother me. I mean, I understand that every individual and person is different, right? And you got to be empathetic and compassionate towards other people who have different views of specific things. So if it truly is your partner, your wife, you would be respectful of their decisions and things that they don't like or that they do like, right? So you would respect that boundary, and it wouldn't really discourage me. If anything, I'd be happy that someone's being open and honest with me that they don't enjoy something.
Yeah,
that's more important to me than the cuddling itself.
Yeah, and perfect. You just said it perfectly, Nick. And and again, that's to each individual who goes out there and does when they meet somebody, right? sometimes you don't have that control. But if you're looking, right, when you're actively looking for somebody, and I mean, for me, that's one of the things that I do mention, because I'm a big PDA guy. I am one of those people, again, who loves to show public displays of affection. I do love the whole cuddling bit. I love the whole looking across from your partner in bed and staring into their eyes, hearing them breathe, not having to talk. That to me is little slice of heaven, man. That's kind of like what I live for. And just again, but again, you can't, sometimes you can't help who you fall in love with. If that individual does not feel that way or have that way, just like Nick said, right? You take that into account. You take your partner's boundaries, and you respect who they are as individuals, and you find other ways around it to get what you're looking for. Nick.
Oh, wow.
I just saw that comment. Yeah.
You trend.
Yeah.
Wow.
Man.
Wow, that's cool that you turned her into a cuddler. That's another thing. So you can transition into that. I mean, that's a whole nother thing, right? Sometimes people don't actually know that they enjoy it until they find the right person, right? Sometimes it's like, I've done this with other people. I didn't enjoy it, but then when you get into somebody that you're really into and you dig that, man, sometimes it helps. That person will change. They will actually, they actually start to learn how to enjoy those little things because they love you that much, right? That they just want to be part of it now. So that's cool. Love that, man.
No, that's good stuff, guys. So, so we talked about, kind of our ideal date and everything. So, and we talk about, what are,
wait a minute. When we go forward.
Are you looking at the comment right below that one?
Comment. That one that says, Teresa, thank you so much. I love you.
I like pizza and Diet Coke after the deed.
Oh, wow.
What kind of pizza, Teresa? That's just like, we talking like the works or what?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Right. That's another interesting topic. What do you? So, like, even a little idiosyncrasies like that with the inside of a relationship, right? So when you order a pizza, that's an interesting topic to talk about, right? So it's like, hey, do you guys both order the same thing, or is it, hey, let's order half this, half that?
Ooh.
It kind of
that's a good question, because I'm the guy who goes, I don't care, whatever you want. And then it's like, so I know I drive Nicole crazy with that.
But yeah, it's an interesting thing though, that those are little idiosyncrasies that you pick up on somebody when you're in a relationship with that person. If you know at some point that that's what they love, and you, again, just like we're talking about, they might not be cuddlers or they might not be pepperoni lovers, right? You're like, but you know that. So when you order your pizza, you be mindful of your partner. You say, you know what? Let's get what you want tonight sometimes. Go ahead and just, again, make those compromises. That's what's cool about it. And we're just talking about eating pizza. We're not even talking about eating the pie later on. There's different parts to that as well, guys, just so you know. I mean, because again, there's so much that goes into it. And again, love that we're talking about is not just about the love, but again, there's also the physical aspect of love, right? And yes, and I'm talking not just the bedroom part, guys. Don't get ladies out there. We'll talk about that later. But I'm talking about the other things, though, right? Giving a hug to your partner when they need it, right? When they've had a shitty day, or going over there holding their hand just when they need it, right? When again, that's where I love the kinetic part of relationships and love, is knowing how to pick up on that when somebody is that you really care about, when they're going through something, right? Or learning how to give them the space. It's to step back sometimes.
So my wife here's the question: do you like to talk after the deed? Ooh.
And you got to answer that one first.
she already knows.
I talk a lot to begin with. There's a reason why I have a podcast and a live stream, because I can talk for forever. So
my wife knows me. I talk a lot. I'm like Nick. So just be quiet.
Oh my
go to bed, Kevin.
Go to bed, right?
See, this is if you were on Twitch, somebody would be going, clip it.
Yeah. But here's the thing, right? This is where we get our truth bearing at, guys. So like, again, it's almost like being inebriated. Once you finish, right? I mean, all inhibitions and a lot of things have been taken out of the way. So that's like when a really optimal time to actually talk to somebody, because you're at that point probably the most open and honest and vulnerable you can be at that in that time period. You know, it's like being, like I said, it's like being drunk. When you're drunk, the filter gets taken away, right? You say the things when you've heard somebody say there's truth in what they're talking about, even though they might be inebriated. Same sort of deal. So when you finish, right, you pop your load, you're like, hey, let's talk now. This is where I really want to know, because I've had some serious talks after doing the deed, man. I'm like, yes, and I don't know how to shut up. I love talking. I love hearing my own voice, so I can see how that, you know, there's some people it's like they're done and then roll over and it's bedtime, right? And again, that's cool. If that's your bag, that's cool. But I'm a talker, so that's instantly for me. So if we're in the sack and we're done, I want to talk. If you're ready to go to bed, that's probably going to be sort of a thing I'm going to have to learn how to deal with, I guess.
So that's your long explanation of that you're a talker. Got it.
Yes.
I think that's why we all have podcasts. We're all talkers.
Shut up.
He just demonstrated that.
Yeah, I think we all did. Yeah.
I was like, I can perfectly imagine. I don't know.
This is one of my favorite. Look at the Force All Stars.
I know.
So guys, what do you think is worse after? For some reason, given the comments that we receive, and even in this conversation itself, we don't refer to the word, right? We use deed or whatever nonsense. And so before we get there, right? So guys, what's worse after the deed? Go silent, snore, or talk? What's worse?
Ooh, for me, it's snore, man. I can't do snoring.
Well, you heard my answer, so it's like
but that's what you prefer. That's not what's worse, right?
Yeah, I think what's worse is, well, I said it too at the end. Like if you roll over and go to bed, I'm like, well, fucking shit. Again, because I love to prefer those levels of intimacy. So yeah, if you just roll over and snore,
what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do if she rolls over and falls asleep? Are you going to tap her and wake her up and continue the conversation before the both of you fall asleep?
I might, right? I might really I might tap her with the schlong a little bit and say, hey, let's talk. Right? I mean, nothing more upfront than saying, you know what, you just got, you took the best of me. Now I'm going to take the best of you. So we're going to talk.
HR. Where's HR?
This is your live show.
This is your This is what you get, man. There's a warning that comes with. There's a warning that should come with booking me. It says proceed with caution.
Yep, they should have knew too. We're talking about love here, so that this is all real.
Exactly right.
It's real life
real
here,
stuff.
man. We got this is reality. There's a lot of worse stuff on our entertainment channel.
I love that.
So
Jeremy saying after the deed, eat. Yeah, that's another. Right. So what is your favorite thing to eat, Jeremy? I mean, you're not here on here tonight, but what is your favorite thing to eat? If you're one of those people who I just got done, I mean, is it leftover pizza, Chinese, whatever? I mean, what floats your boat? That's what I want to know, right? So What about bromance? Thank you, Sergio. That's another one.
Oh, about bromance. That's a good one.
It's a good one. I think. Well, I think we're kind of this is what bromance all encompassing is right now. Is how
we're doing some bromance right here.
Thing right here, man. You know? Yeah, you're getting your spoonful here, brother. So, yeah.
I just want to make a comment that Teresa said something about Law and Order. Is that after the deed? Is that a bad habit? Because I know she said something about pizza and Diet Coke. So I'm just curious if she's talking about pizza, Diet Coke, and watching Law and Order.
Ooh, I can't do that. Ooh, ouch! I can't do that.
He said, "I love that though."
So Nick, when is done? You have like pizza, Diet Coke, and watching something. So when is done for you and your household? A bedroom for that matter.
When is done? Man, putting me on the spot here.
We can put his wife on the spot.
Yeah,
she's still on it.
She won't. She'll probably say whenever I tell Nick to shut up because he talks forever.
All right. She's like, well, it might have. Oh wow. Yes, after the sexy time. Thank you, Teresa. Thank you for clarification. We need Law and Order. Law and Order. So it's pizza. So I know. So again, then I know what's going on at her household when I see the pizza man coming with a 2-liter of Diet Coke and delivering 2 large pizzas to the house. And you could probably go to her Netflix or somewhere on her DVR. And she's probably got Law and Order saved. So yeah, that's going on.
There's just a soundboard that goes dun dun, dun dun.
and it's very intriguing, right? Like, So Nick, do you already know it?
Oh wow!
Before you place the order, or you see the pizza guy coming to deliver the food, and you know that it's a Morse code for the.
So next wife answers.
Which one works?
Wow.
Are you in the know or you're not in the know? Like, how does it work?
I don't know. I didn't. I'm not the one ordering pizza, but
no.
Yeah. I mean, my wife right here, she said all the talking comes before, so I stand corrected. But like Kevin said, there's a reason why we're all on live stream and Gabe, because we can talk forever, even if no one was watching. Yep. I mean, there was this comment at our wedding where my wife said, she's like, "Oh my God, I married my father," because I got drunk at the wedding and just kept talking forever. But
wow,
this is good. Let's see here.
I love that.
The funny thing is, she's like a room over, so she probably actually heard that before she'll see it on stream. But
no, well, that's interesting though that you say that, right? So sometimes since we're talking about love, that sometimes subconsciously we try to look for those people who remind us of maybe like who our parents were, or somewhere with a lot of the similar traits that we don't sometimes even know that's what we're looking for, but we've seen that example as kiddos of what love is, right? We see that going on through our parents, right? And you go, as a kid, that's what you know and understand. So it's just like anything. That's how you learn how to write, read, take a dump, whatever it is. All those things that you do, that you learn, that they become part of your routine, right? So it's the same thing when you see your parents and how they love and how they exist together. And at some point, subconsciously in your mind, that builds upon it. They're like, you know what? I did not know it, but that's a lot of this. It's not till later on that you actually look outside and go, wow, like when Nick's wife married my father.
Sorry, Jen. I'm more ramen noodles type guy.
I think
I just hand her the package.
Oh, you're not talking about like a nice bowl of ramen. You're just talking about the cheap.
Here you go, honey. I'm done.
All right, go knock it out for me.
Just put these in the microwave.
Can you make me a bowl too?
That's very likely, I think.
Oh man.
This
is good stuff. So hey, we went into kind of the children, right? You brought up, hey, we learn how to love as children, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about how important is parenting when it comes to our upbringing and how we understand love.
Mm-hmm. That is again something that I love talking about, because that's where my examples of what a loving relationship should be is seeing that, and you go out into the world and you kind of want to mirror that, because you're like this. I saw my parents, especially if you had a household where your parents maybe did not divorce and they stayed together for a very long time, and you see that as the example, right? And sometimes it's hard for us to comprehend when those things don't actually work out in a relationship, where it's like, you know what, I thought I was looking for this. It's not until later on you realize that, you know what, I am my own person, and I need to know what I find. I need to go find what makes me happy, right? You've had this idea in your mind of what you thought a good relationship was, and that was only a good relationship for your parents. That was good for them. That's who they were. That's how they meshed, right? So to be comparative of that, man, sometimes it's very difficult, because again, that can be very confusing for a lot of adults or people who come into adulthood, and that's what they want to go find in love, right? They're like, I want to find that person I'm married to for 40 years, right? That's where my mom and dad were. They were married for all this time, and they get out in the world and they realize that, you know what, maybe I don't want that, right? And it's, again, that's why I kind of, with my kids, they're going to see a different example of it. Where I'm like, hey, this is, and I've kind of explained to them a little bit, hey, you're going to go find what works for you, right? What has worked for us is not always going to work for you. If you do, you're going to struggle, right? To try to find something that's going to mirror what we've already done. And that's not how love operates. That's not how it works. You got to find the right fit for you, just like anything. So, my kids are going to have a different example of love, and I hope that they understand that that's going to be for them to not do the same things that I did. I want them to be different. I want them to be their own selves when they go find it. So.
No, and I love that, Gabriel, because it's so true. I think when your parents, now I'm a dad now, and it's like you look back, like personally, you pick up so much from your parents. And even people say, majority of the people who have a religion, right, they see God a lot of times as the way they were treated by their dad. So how powerful is that? They view God the way they view their father, right? So I think it's so important. Like, we have that responsibility as parents, to give our kids the freedom. I think a lot of us, for generations, we just model after our parents, no matter if you're in the US or if you're Asia, we model after, and you start learning things. That's how you identify. This is how marriage is supposed to be because mom and dad did it that way. Mm-hmm. But that's not necessarily true. Mm-hmm. And I started talking to even Jen about it. Like, how do we want to raise our kids? I want them to find their own concept of love and their own idea, because everyone has a perspective, right? And as you get older, even from when I was 30 and now I'm 40, it's like I look back, the way I view like what my parents did change. Now I'm like, man, they messed up a lot, because now I have my own family, I have my own kids, and what I thought was right, when I was 20 and when I was 30 and 40, yes, it changed. Mm-hmm. And I was like, that is not right, mm-hmm, or what and that's why I think when a man and a woman, you guys marry and create your own family, you're on your own. You should create your own family. You have to get out that nest. It's not mom, dad, and wife, or vice versa. It has to be you two, and then you formulate your own family, mm-hmm, and I think a lot of people miss that. They mm-hmm still go back when, there's trouble. Okay, let's go talk to mom and dad. But there has to be a point where you have to break that.
Yes. 100%, man. So, yep. I hate to love and run, but I do have a live stream in about 4 minutes. I got to go launch. So I want to appreciate, though, Kevin, thank you so much for inviting me the time. I've had a really good time on the conversation. Aldrich as well. Loved your perspectives. And, of course, Nick, love Lozano. You are the man, brother.
No, love it. So, hey, thank you. And, hey, everyone, be sure we're about to be probably closed down here. Hop on the Love Tornado Gabriel's live stream. So tell the audience how to follow you.
Oh, yeah. So same deal. I stream on multiple platforms Monday through Friday. Tonight is actually going to be my 100th episode for season number 2. So I've streamed a lot, and it's another accomplishment that I never thought I would reach. So, but here it is. It's here. It's going to happen. And tonight's just going to be a solo show about gratitude. And I'm just going to give gratitude for all the people who've kind of helped me build myself up to this point. So that's what I'm going to be covering tonight. And, man, thank you again, guys, so much for inviting me here. I always come and I love hopping on other people's streams. It's so much funner for me this way because I don't even have to worry about the tech part. I don't have to worry about any of it. It's everybody else's hands. I just get to be a conversationalist at that point. So this is fun for me. So thank you guys again so much. And man, I would love at some point to come back and we can talk about something else, man.
We will for
night.
sure.
Don't tell me good night. See, I'm not going to good night. Don't give me good night. This is just goodbye for 3 minutes.
We'll be. Nick's gonna send you a pizza.
Yeah,
so,
there you go.
We should order him a pizza. What's your address?
So that it comes when he's on stream, right?
Yep.
Oh my gosh. I'd be like, no.
Coke.
Diet Coke. Get Diet Coke.
Diet Coke.
Okay.
Have a great show,
guys.
Gabriel.
All right.
Good stuff, Gabe.
Have a great show, Gabe.
Bye.
Thank you. Well, we still got quite a bit of audience here, so I want to just continue a little bit. So Valentine's is coming up, right? So what are some gift ideas? I know some of these ladies are here for men. Share with us, Nick and Aldrich. What would be the ideal gift?
The ideal gift for me or for a man? That's
for a man. What do you think?
Ideal gift for me would be nothing. Like I don't want anything really. Like when I say that, I mean I generally don't want anything other than companionship, love, and compassion. You know, like I don't need material things. That's just me, though. Maybe you guys are different.
I am actually the same way. So, ladies, my wife gets actually kind of frustrated with me when I tell her that. See, I'm not the only one. So, Nick and Eldrick agreed.
I will say this, and you guys will probably agree with me, okay? Because we're in the same path here. Presents are cool, like when you're 10 and you can't buy anything you want. You know, that's the cool thing. You have a birthday party, like when you're 10, good to get you presents. But other than that, once you're an adult, you can buy whatever you want. Like, I don't understand presents, but that's just me.
Yep. I'm the exact same way, and I tell Jen, I go, well, technically we share the same bank account. So I can buy anything I want to. So, and I understand, and she always tells me it's the thought that counts. You guys could get me in trouble tonight. But for me, I'm like, I just go buy it, you know? So it's one of those things that's like, oh, there's that balance. But for me, it's really like, I just want quality time. So, like, gifts not that important for me. So, Jeremy, you just jumped in and surprised all of us. So,
hi, hey, hi, Nick.
He wanted to get in on the fun.
Hi, Jeremy.
So Jeremy, what's the ideal gift for you? Are you a gift guy? All three of us said we aren't. So, what about you?
No, not a gift guy.
Not a gift guy.
Actually, my wife has like a standing order on what to get her. Very specific, right? It's color lilies, you know, for whatever occasions, right? Valentine's Day or birthday.
We have 5. So
yeah,
the same, right? So that's.
But I never get them. maybe earlier part of the dating routine I do, but I just don't these days. And if you want to talk about general gifting, it will really be more like, okay, so what do you need, and just tell me. It's become very functional rather than romantic. Just get over and done with, Tell me what you need, I buy, and full stop. So yeah, not a very romantic guy myself. Sorry.
I like what Nicole said here. So she said a nice home cooked meal for Nick. So
that's
she
awesome.
cooks better than me now. Like I have to give it to her, man. She can throw down probably better than I can.
So does she start off not able to cook as well as you?
No, she could cook when I met her.
Okay.
I mean, I was still cooking in restaurants when we met. And obviously, you and I are the same, Kevin, that we worked in that same industry. And like I had just got burnt out on cooking anything at all. I remember working in restaurants like Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, and I'm like, I just want a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Like, I don't want anything that's here.
And talking about this, isn't it crazy? So just a little nugget for the audience. So I used to own a restaurant and been a chef and stuff, and so has Nick, right? Mm-hmm. The worst time where they get your dollars is Valentine's Day. It's the restaurants make the most money in the U.S. I can't speak for Asia. It's always Valentine's Day. So that's where we get you, man. So that's when you instead of the normal menu, you get that special 3-course menu. And it's all the junk we need to get rid of anyway. And all the couples buy it, right? It's the steak that's about to go, it's kind of like, let's get the, instead of the prime, you get the USDA lower end. And let's put it out there, and we make it pretty for you. And restaurants make a killing on Valentine's Day.
Kevin,
yep.
You're saying a Valentine's Day is Black Friday sales for restaurants?
Yes, it is. Yep. So it's actually smarter to go the week after or the week before, the weekend before. And Jen and I has made a habit. I don't like going out on Valentine's Day because it's jam-packed. You're competing, and your food quality isn't going to be the same.
Have any of you?
Yeah, because those are just terrible days to work.
Yep.
Yeah. Have any of you ever encountered your existing partners or your previous partners or your future incoming partners telling you that February 13 and 15 is very different from 14th?
Depends. I think February 13 is what you call Swine's Day.
No, that's not my point. That's not the point of this question. As in, you cannot celebrate Valentine's Day outside of Valentine's Day because that is supposed to be Valentine's Day.
No. I think that's for younger couples. Yeah. That's for younger couples. It's like when you need to have flowers sent to your desk while you're working on Valentine's Day to show that either you're taken or you have somebody, or it's just a show off thing, to me at least. Feel free to disagree. But when you get married for many years, it doesn't really matter. At least to me, I don't know. Feel free to comment.
Yeah, so Kevin, did our viewership just collapse because all the females left?
No, they're still there, man. So I just want to mention, so I just want to ask you guys, out in Asia. So is Valentine's one of the highest retail and food as well?
Yeah, I would think so. Yes, definitely.
Well, it's depending on where you stand, it could be a high revenue generation day.
I mean, come on.
It depends on where you stand, right?
What, $20 for a single stock of rose? Come on, man.
That's insane.
On Valentine's Day. Yeah. Or maybe
the day
15
after on sale.
Eldrick, let's talk about selling roses after this call.
Of course, man.
Roses and pizza.
So I'm gonna say going out on.
Nick, go ahead.
Hey guys, we forget about the chocolates. We spoke about so many other things, but we never brought up about the chocolates.
So are you, Eldrick, are you a chocolate guy?
Nah, just leave me alone for February 14th. I'd rather work. Just leave me alone. Well, occasionally I get surprises. I mean, like, I do get like messages from like ex girlfriends and things like that, and I'll be like, Then it does trigger those thoughts like, hey, I hope that you're fine, and I really do miss you and things like that. You know, like those relationships where you part amicably and it hasn't gone sour. It's kind of nice. It's kind of nice.
Eldrick's the ladies' man over here. So, hey guys, let's talk a little about this here. This is a good topic. So, there's ladies out here. Who still talks to their ex? It sounds like Eldrick does.
This one is.
I don't.
This one's.
I don't.
Really easy for me. I have no
Stop
access.
lying, guys. We are on a public live stream. Just declare it, man. Just declare it. Stop lying. Stop lying.
No.
Stop lying, Jeremy.
No, I'm not
Stop
lying.
it.
I don't.
No, I really don't.
What?
I have no access. My wife is my first girlfriend. Done.
That's awesome.
Done. Okay, so what ex is there to talk about? No, I don't have any. So yeah, easy for me.
Oh man. So Eldrick's our player in this group. So
he still
It's the glasses.
He still
It's
talks
the glasses, man.
he still talks to the ones that got away. You know, the ones that got away. He has a list to call
No,
list
but-
on
but-
February 14th.
There are some relationships that ended inorganically. It could be because of when we were way younger and then parents got into the way, or locations got into the way, and typically those are the kind where it comes back. I think.
Man.
So I don't think too
Audrey.
much about that.
The parents that got in the way thing sounds too K-drama, Korean drama for me.
Not
Sorry.
for me.
my wife.
If there's one thing that that is true when you're watching Korean dramas, is that if you're born into a rich family, your family does interfere. It does.
I guess
they think very differently.
I guess you're the one with the rich family, right?
I'm poor, but I meet people.
Nah, just kidding.
Oh man.
They think very very differently. I think one of my exes, her father loved me more than she did. Her father was like, "Oh my gosh, there's actually someone who loves my daughter. I love you. Please come to my place. Please tell me why you love my daughter. She's useless. She sleeps like a pig. She snores. She doesn't study. She doesn't do anything.
I hope
Tell
that
me."
lady's not on the show.
I don't know. Oh, it's like it's funny. It's funny. Life do take a turn.
Yeah. So for me, so my wife kind of called me out here. So for me, I get curious, like, and I don't do it anymore for sure. Right when we first got married, I was always curious, like, hey, I want what are my ex doing now? Especially when social media started popping, right? And I've been married, like I say, 11 years, so it was pretty much the lifetime of MySpace and then Facebook, and now it's like, you got TikTok, you got Instagram, you got Clubhouse, and who knows what, right? So back then it was like, I always wanted to look them up to just kind of see, like, just curiosity, what are they doing now?
Especially those that broke up with you, right? You want to know they are worse off than you.
Absolutely.
That their other half looks worse than you.
Not all guys are that petty. Seriously, no. No, seriously, no.
Hey, Kevin, Kelsey in the comments is agreeing with you.
For the ladies.
Who's agreeing with me? Kelsey's agreeing with me.
Thank you, Kelsey.
Kelsey's agreeing with Kevin.
Woo!
Yeah, look at that.
It's always fun to know. It's just out of curiosity, right? Like, what's up with them now, But then, I stopped. So my wife said no. So out of my love for my wife, like Gabriel said,
Go on.
is mutual respect. So
That's your best Gabe impression, too. It was like the...
I'm setting in, but okay.
This is good. What Kelsey said, I'm with you about the curiosity for sure, especially
Yeah,
if
that's what
they
I
were
mean.
me.
Oh man, you
If they broke up with you,
people are
yeah.
the vengeful type. Seriously.
Oh man.
It's love or hate, what? I mean, it's one or the other, right? Love turns to hate, right? So yeah.
So no, this is good stuff. So what you guys got planned for Valentine's? You guys have any plans?
Chinese New Year.
Chinese New Year? So how
just
does that
easy.
work?
Nice.
Let's talk a little about Chinese New Year being the same time as Valentine's
Oh man.
in Asia.
Oh, that's easy. Tell your parents that you'll be at home with your wife. Tell your wife that you'll be at your parents' place for Chinese New Year, and then you just go to McDonald's and do your
See,
work.
Eldrick's got a plan.
Eldrick
Just hope
goes
that
to
they
work.
don't check in with each other, right?
I think he goes to check out the ones that got away.
It depends.
I like that. I'm open for this Valentine's. So any single ladies right there?
Abhishek, you
that's
have
awesome.
to share your Calendly so that people can start booking. Maybe you
Your
get,
phone number?
Yeah.
Oh, this is
I
great.
think, Kevin, to answer your question, I think for Chinese New Year, especially for places like, China, Chinese culture, that's the time where you would want to bring your better half, if you're not married, to showcase to the family, right? But I'm not so sure about this year with the pandemic going on and all that. If not, it'll be like pretty awesome because I wouldn't say it's like a date to go around and showcase your somebody, your fiance or whoever you're going to be with to the family during Chinese New Year. And I think this year's Chinese New Year is going to be very muted because of the way it is, the pandemic and all. And effectively in China, it was like it's almost as good as being cancelled because they're going to stop all the traveling with all the migrant workers going back and forth. So yeah, it's pretty sad for China because most of these migrant workers only get back home once a year to see their kids and family. And this year they cannot travel, so they're stuck. And it's probably going to be another year before they can make their way back again. And that is assuming COVID goes away or everyone gets vaccinated. So not so good this year.
So before we end tonight, I want to talk about, so what are some great things, Nick and his wife, looks like you guys have some pretty romantic relationship going on here.
We got to invite his wife back for next week's episode, right? The ladies.
I know. So, and then we got
I'm tuning in.
And then we got Eldrick is Eldrick's Romeo over here. So let's talk a little about what are, in the midst of COVID, what are some creative things couples can do to get that spark, right? Like Gabriel said, get play with the stick. Is that what he said? What I don't know how he said it.
I think that's exactly what there's a reason why we call him a tornado. There's a reason.
So how you end up with the pizza and the Coke, the double Coke, like Teresa said. So what are some creative ways in the midst of COVID that you can spark that fire?
Yeah, I mean, creative ways is, I would say, if you're a man and you don't cook, try to cook dinner, man. That's one of the easiest things to do, right? You can't really go out anywhere for meals right now, so try to cook a meal, even if it's pizza, right? Just try to make something. It's not as hard as it looks, right, Kevin?
It's not, there's YouTube, guys.
Yeah, the cooking isn't the difficult one, it's the cleaning. That's the difficult one.
The cleaning is okay, but if I'm gonna do that, my family will be having instant noodles and nothing else. So
it's the thought that counts.
Exactly. Well, see, Kevin was doing ramen earlier, the cheap ramen noodles anyways.
I like what Nicole says. She corrected me. It's grab the stick, guys. Yep.
What did I miss?
And you can believe her because she's a lawyer, so I'm sure she wrote that down exactly how he said it. Yeah.
So what are some ways to spark that fire in the midst of COVID?
I think to kill two birds with one stone, really, just something simple. Go out for a walk or do cycling together, go and jog together. I think that helps. You get some fresh air. You are doing a healthy activity together. You get out of the house. I I think that would be like my suggestion. So yeah.
Jeremy, I just want to ask you this, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Would you feel special if your wife said, "Hey, on Valentine's Days, I'll play video game with you"?
Oh.
Did Jennifer say that to you?
Oh.
It sounds
Ooh.
very real. It sounds very real life.
No, I don't play video games, so it won't work for me.
we just for
we
context.
would get divorced.
Just for context, very much earlier in the relationship, we do play a little bit together. But these days, if we really do that, it will be with the kids, and it's hard. It's harder now because I got so many things to juggle, right? So yes, I definitely will feel special if we were just gonna enjoy playing games just like good old days together. And it also will depend on the game, right? You know, these days when we play games with the kids, we play. Gosh, I forgot the name of the game, the cooking game. How can I forget?
That's ironic. It's a cooking game.
Yeah, it's a cooking game. You need to team up. You need to team up to get the task done. I think it's called Let's Cook, right? Oh, I forgot the name. But the point is, we always end up shouting at each other because somebody messes up, and so it becomes destructive rather than happy time. You yell at each other.
What about you, Eldrick? Any suggestions?
I'm not too sure though, because in the era of like work from home and we are always at home, right? It's kind of like very difficult to say let's cuddle together or let's do something together, because it's very different from the entire year we are doing our own thing in different office, different work, and then we come home, we stay together, right? So I don't have a direct answer for that, but maybe one of the ways is, as what Jeremy said, let's just get out and have that little breeze in our hair. I think so. But I think it's also, I would say logical, but if we need some time for ourselves, I recommend that we take it. I do think so.
Ooh, I like that. Plan a date night, even if it's at home with the kids. Go to bed. So that's what Nick just said.
What's the time like, Nick? Is that 3 a.m.? Is that 2 a.m.? Or after the kids go to bed?
It's pretty decent, really. Like 8 p.m., 9, something like that, maybe. So not 3 a.m. So not too bad.
These guys are good parents. We're struggling at the Kwok household here. My son does not sleep, man. So
I saw that. I saw your wife's comment about even melatonin. It's tough to get them to go to sleep.
I know they're all like little miniature Kevins.
But Nick's,
so you're in for trouble then, right?
Yeah.
Nick's wife is a law practitioner, right? I mean, just instead of reading storybooks, just read the American Constitution. I think they'll fall asleep by 9 p.m. The Constitution guarantees us a matter.
No, so for us, like, yeah, it's kind of neat. So we order these on Amazon. Actually, they're like, I think $16 or $20 a deck. We got those cards, like, just like, it's called Moments, and we started just asking each other questions, you know, and they're like for marriage, and it's been kind of neat because sometimes the things you think you know about your other half, you really don't know. And then sometimes you forget because after years of being together, you stop having conversations sometimes because every day you're just so busy, right? And for me, you know, I'm guilty. I'm like entrepreneur all the time. Like, it's always on. So it's like, those are the conversations I love having with her. And then for my wife, she's like, shut up. You know, is that all you talk about? It's just business. You know, it's like, do you talk about anything else? So I have a hard time struggling with conversations sometimes, right? That I think is very interesting, but my wife doesn't. So, and that's why she's probably loving these live shows because it's change it up, right? She's like, everyone talks business talk 24/7 on LinkedIn, and that's all they talk about. Wow, you guys should change it up. And it's showing. Like tonight, we have great viewership because I think we're all tired of it. You know, I don't need to learn how to use LinkedIn anymore. You know, I have 100 emails about teaching me how to use LinkedIn, or hey, how do I start this or that? And there's just so much, and it's like information overload. Everyone's an expert, and for us, it's like, let's just chat,
Yeah. And we need to teach people how to grab the stick. Instead.
Grab the stick, yes.
Flip it.
Can Jennifer please take some notes and ask that question again next week? Because if not, I want to tune in and know what the hell is grab a stick. Like what exactly are you grabbing?
Man, Aldrich, I'll let you write a blog about it. That's your next article topic. On Medium, that would be your highest viewership. What is grab a stick?
in the world of gaming, it's called a joystick.
Ooh.
Wow.
Oh, this is good. Well, before we get in trouble tonight, a lot of human resource people are like, oh my gosh, this is on LinkedIn. I can't believe it. It sure is, guys. So the LinkedIn game is changing. We're pioneering it, right? With the Vipers here. We're pioneering a new frontiers on LinkedIn. So anyway. Hey, thank you tonight. Yep, go ahead.
One question. Guys, do you still remember your first love?
Man.
It's my wife, so.
Do you still
married my first girlfriend, I can't forget.
About it in front of your spouse? Accidentally or openly?
No, never. Don't do that. Don't ever.
I'm pretty transparent. Like, my wife knows everything about my past relationships. I think part of having a healthy relationship is being able to communicate. But, I mean, I leave the past in the past and move on, That person has their own life and I have my own. So, yep, that's me. So
Would it be okay if Jennifer starts saying or starts talking about the ex being better than you on this thing, that thing?
Well, the great thing is my wife doesn't do that. So no, we're very transparent. We talk to each other, and we're confident in who we are, and we love each other, and that's the biggest thing with marriage. I think a healthy relationship is all about trust. So, and for those of you in the audience, and I haven't been married that long, 11 years, not very long. There's people who's been married longer, but I think Nick, Jeremy, Aldrich, you guys can agree. It's mutual. It's trusting each other mutually. And I think in any relationship, client relationship, friendship, it requires trust. If you can't trust someone's not trustworthy, then it's hard to have love. Because I think love is based on the premise of trust. Yep. Mm-hmm. And that's why this is a circle. What movie was that?
It's a circle of life or something.
What movie is that?
Oh man,
it's the comedy movie. Remember? He goes, "This is a circle."
No, which one is that?
What? Yeah, I have no idea.
It's the Love Guru. The Guru.
Oh,
remember?
The Guru.
Yeah.
I need to rewatch that. The Guru. I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, he was the Love Guru, and he was going, "This is a circle."
Yeah,
Marissa
the Mike Myers movie.
The Mike Myers movie. Yep.
Yeah, with Marissa Tomei. Yeah.
Anyway. Well, thank you guys. It was a lot of fun tonight. And episode 46 is going to be a woman's perspective. So we're very fair here. That's why it's called the bottoms up perspective is, hey, we all have different perspective and we're not biased. So we want to give equal time. And it'll be some of the ladies from the bottoms up female group. And the guys get to take a break. And so we get to be in the audience. So.
We get
Nick's wife is
ask questions
Nick's wife is invited.
from the comments, right?
Yep. So Nick,
I'll ask her if she wants to do it. I'll ask her if
your
she wants
wife
to
do it? Yeah. So let us know.
I can't speak for her. I'll ask her if she wants to do it.
Nick's wife, would you want to be on next week's episode? We'll invite you. Nicole, please let us know. So
Yep.
feel free to hit me up. And we just want to thank you, StreamYard, for sponsoring our shows and making this all possible so that we can stream everywhere. But I'm sure StreamYard might ban us after tonight. So they might. We aren't keeping it professional. So.
You must not seen many of Gabe's lives, and he uses StreamYard.
He uses StreamYard, so we're fine.
Yeah, you're fine. You're fine.
The tornado.
Fine.
So,
Yeah.
anyway, hey, it was a great night. Thank you for everyone who stuck with the show. Hop onto Gabriel's show tonight if you have a time. And thank you. Have a good one. Later.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate you hanging
See
out.
you guys next week.
Bye.
Hey, thanks, Nick. Bye.